we have played a lot of Peglin on this channel so far, and I have declared it a cozy game, but how cozy is it actually, and is it worth that title? That's the question we're going to ask today. We're going to take a deep dive into Peglin about what makes it cozy and what makes it a cozy contender. We'll be using our cozy criteria to evaluate Peglin on 5 areas: sense of agency and control, meaningful progression, atmosphere, player connection, and replayability. A final score will be generated for Peglin, and Peglin will kick off our new cozy tier list, where we can see which games are the supreme cozy champions at the end of the year. And trust me, Peglin's score is a little bit surprising. First up is sense of agency or control, and Peglin actually nails this category. At first glance, the game's mechanics might suggest that luck reigns supreme in this game. After all, the unpredictable bounce of orbs on a pegboard is pretty chaotic by design. Yet beneath this randomness lies a deeply thoughtful system where players are empowered to make meaningful choices at nearly every turn. The balance between choice and chance is the heart of Peglin's charm, creating an experience that's engaging, strategic, and surprisingly can be stress-free. So one of Peglin's most notable strengths is its range of decisions that puts it in the player's hands. You're not just passively watching orbs bounce around, you're constantly shaping your strategy, adapting the tools that you're given, like your relics. With every upgrade, relic acquisition, or map decision, you craft a unique build that reflects your playstyle. The question for you is, do you focus on a single powerful orb, or do you diversify your deck and have a versatile arsenal of orbs at your disposal? Even when the outcome doesn't go as planned, and let's face it, it often doesn't, you still feel responsible for the choices that led you to that moment. The game is therefore cleverly balanced between skillful aiming with unpredictable results, keeping the experience both satisfying and dynamic. Therefore, for this category, Peglin gets 2 out of 2, because it is all about your control, your design, and your decisions. The philosophy of meaningful progression aligns beautifully with the principle of cozy gaming. In cozy games, progression isn't solely defined by completing objectives or hitting milestones. It's more about feeling that your time is valued and your effort is rewarded. Peglin achieves this by giving you a sense of control over your journey, even when the randomness of the pegboard introduces that unpredictability. Each run feels worthwhile, whether you're unlocking new relics, redefining your aim, or experimenting with orbs you've never used before. You're always moving forward in your skill and your creativity. Every failure contributes to that sense of progression in Peglin because of the game's procedural nature, ensuring that no 2 runs are the same. Every attempt teaches you something new or helps you experiment with new strategies, really increasing your skill and helping you realise the importance of aiming for refresh pegs, for example, earlier in a run, or discovering a powerful synergy between some relics or orbs that you didn't consider at the beginning. These moments of discovery make each failure feel like a stepping stone rather than a setback, and you kind of want to go again to see if you can do it differently next time or try something new in the next run. So it's one of those games that you could spend a lot of time on and continually run over a few hours. Therefore, Peglin gets 2 out of 2 on this category because it really inspires that meaningful progression, allowing you to grow both in skill and through experimentation. It's really about mastery with this game, and that can be super fun and super cozy if you just want to sit down for a while and get a little bit better at something. Atmosphere really helps to set the emotional tone of a cozy game, and it's about creating that experience that is truly engaging. Well, Peglin does create a space that does feel a little bit light-hearted and inviting. Through its pixel art and its design and its music, the game sets the tone and kind of feels approachable, and it feels like a dungeon run, so it feels exactly how you would expect it to feel. Especially in its delightful visual design, the pixel art really can create a sense of nostalgia for some players with older games. It might be more reminiscent of classic games that prioritised, charm over realism. But the art of Peglin is its simplicity with atmosphere. It doesn't really overdo it, which creates an atmosphere that isn't overly done or overwhelming, with lots of colours and lots of things going on. It's the simplicity helps it feel a little bit more relaxing. The music also helps to set the tone of the game. It kind of energizes you in a little bit because it's that dungeon run feel. It feels like you're moving forward and it's exciting. That said, Peglin falls short of delivering an atmosphere that really immerses you in the game. If we compare it to games like Stardew Valley, for example, or Spiritfarer, which excel in creating that rich, layered environment that really feels alive, with detailed backstories, evolving relationships, vibrant settings, Peglin by comparison falls short. It feels much more surface level. It focuses more on the gameplay and the mechanics rather than the world building or story narrative. So really, for Peglin's atmosphere, the charm lies in its straightforwardness, its ability to build an atmosphere around its gameplay mechanics. However, it really lacks that immersion in the game, that deeper connection to the game itself. Therefore, Peglin scores 1 out of 2 for that reason. Hey there, just a quick pause to say that if you're enjoying the chill vibes and discovering new and diverse cozy games, subscribe to the channel. It really helps to ensure this channel grows and I can do more of the content that you love. Plus, if you hit the notification bell, you'll always be notified when I upload so you don't miss out. You can now give this Slothee a coffee, and trust me, I need the energy. And it really helps to ensure that this channel can keep going. It's not mandatory, my content is free on YouTube for you all. But if you want to support the channel, the link is down in the description below. Thank you so much for being here, I appreciate you. So let's talk about player connection. This is again an interesting one for Peglin. The story is simple. It is basically like a dungeon run, a dungeon crawler. You are going through the levels, you are trying to progress and get better, and you've got these set of orbs to play. There is some story-driven moments which allow you to make choices. That does help a little bit to connect with the game because there's something happening, there's some sort of story. But overall just lacks that depth or complexity which is, I think, needed for a meaningful connection to the game. Peglin is a gameplay first experience. There's no detailed lore to uncover, no rich character arcs, no meaningful interactions to flesh out what you're doing and why. The game doesn't aim to tug at your heartstrings or immerse you in a richly woven narrative, it just focuses on delivering simple fun with engaging mechanics. Ultimately, for that reason, Peglin earns a 0 as it doesn't prioritise that narrative as part of its core design. Finally, let's talk about replayability, and again, this is one of Peglin's strengths. It's probably one of Peglin's greatest strengths, I would say. Despite its unpredictability in its mechanics, the sheer variety of orbs, relics, and choices you can make really helps it stand out in this section. Peglin is designed to be replayed over and over and over again. Each run feels like a new adventure, inviting players to explore different strategies, experiment with unique builds, and discover fresh combinations. This endless replayability is not about just extending the game time and making you stick around for longer. It's about creating a space that feels both familiar and ever-changing, which I think is perfect for cozy gaming. You want a game that you can invest in, a comfort game that you'll keep going back to, and if you find that Peglin is cozy, this replayability element will really help it stand out for you. And as we touched upon earlier, this design also fosters a sense of mastery in a rewarding way that isn't too punishing, unless you're doing Crucible, of course. But as you play, you naturally develop a deeper understanding of the game's mechanics, improve your aim, refine your strategies, and learn to make the most out of each relic and orb. But even as your skills grow, the randomness of the game will always ensure that you never fall into predictable routine. It doesn't get boring despite how many times you play. Therefore, Peglin scores 2 out of 2 for replayability, and I think this is the cornerstone of Peglin, really where it shines most. Peglin gets a total cozy score of 7 out of 10. So that's our deep dive into why Peglin can be cozy, its strengths and also its weaknesses. Peglin provides a perfect example of how simplicity and a focus on gameplay can create a cozy game unexpectedly. It's easy to pick up, it's fun to experiment with, it's endlessly replayable, and if you're looking for a game that's relaxing but keeps you engaged, Peglin might just be your next favourite cozy title. So what do you think? Would you agree with Peglin's 7 out of 10 cozy score? Let me know in the comments below. I always love reading your thoughts and ideas. Also, let me know how you found this video today, because I intend to do more videos like this in terms of doing deep dives into games and seeing how cozy they are. If you have any suggestions of any unconventional or unorthodox cozy games that you generally just like, pop them in the comments below as well, because I really want to hear your thoughts on them, but also I might just play them on the channel. And as always, it's been lovely spending time with you today, and I look forward to catching up with you in the next one. Take care.